I swear to God, I'm gonna f***ing blow my casket. I really am.
You're what?
Like, coming.
The Real Housewives kicked off with its first franchise, Orange County, in 2006. What transpired was 7 other cities with new cast members, and storylines filled with drama du jour. Over the past 18 years, fans have gotten to know the wives and families of the series on a whole other level. Viewers have become attached to their favorite housewives and enemies, and sadly, their losses feel like viewers' losses as well. Watching the cast break down over the loss of a loved one is gutting. So, let's look at some of the saddest losses in the franchise. Russell Armstrong
committed suicide. Do you think the two were related?
I have no idea what the link.
Taylor Armstrong and her husband Russell had their life played out in front of cameras on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. From the outside, their marriage appeared picture perfect. They were often seen attending glamorous events, enjoying luxurious vacations, and maintaining a seemingly harmonious relationship. However, beneath this polished exterior lay troubling reality. Russell was not only emotionally and physically abusive to Taylor, but he also faced severe financial issues. His business dealings spiraled out of control, leaving him in a precarious financial position that he couldn't recover from. The couple's relationship deteriorated under the strain of these problems, leading Taylor to separate from Russell in an attempt to protect herself and her daughter. In 2011, the situation reached a tragic climax. After their separation, Russell moved in with a roommate, struggling with the collapse of his marriage, his financial troubles, and the public scrutiny that came with their reality TV fame. Russell's despair grew overwhelming. Tragically, he chose to end his life by hanging himself in the home he shared with his roommate. The news of his death sent shockwaves through their community and the show's fan base, highlighting the often hidden struggles behind seemingly perfect public personas. Dennis Shields.
That breaks my heart.
I know, me too.
Oh my God.
Bethany Frankel had known her late boyfriend Dennis Shields for 30 years before they began dating. Their relationship started in 2016 and was marked by periods of being on and off. Despite the ups and downs, they shared a deep connection and profound happiness. Tragically, in August 2018, Dennis was found dead in New York City due to an accidental overdose. The loss of Dennis was a devastating blow for Bethany, who was not only mourning her boyfriend but also the future. They had secretly planned together. They were engaged, a fact they had kept private. Bethany's return to filming for Bravo after Dennis's death was fraught with emotion. Her grief was palpable on screen as she had multiple meltdowns and openly expressed her heartache. Bethany's sorrow resonated with viewers, who saw her struggle to cope with the sudden and tragic loss of someone so important to her. Her vulnerability and raw emotion highlighted the depth of her pain, making it clear how much Dennis meant to her. This period was one of the most challenging times in Bethany's life, and her journey through grief was a significant part of her storyline on the show. Vicki Gunvalson's mom.
It was really hard.
Did you ever watch the episode?
I did.
You did? Wow.
Despite how some fans feel about Vicki Gunvalson, no one deserves to learn about the loss of a loved one on camera. In 2015, while Bravo was filming her for The Real Housewives of Orange County, Vicki received a phone call that changed her life forever. As she answered the phone, she fell to the floor upon hearing that her mother had passed away unexpectedly. This heart-wrenching moment occurred at Shannon Beddor's home, making it even more uncomfortable. Vicki was in shock and devastated by the sudden news. In that moment, she had nowhere to go and no time to process her grief privately. However, the women around her quickly rallied, offering support and comfort as Vicki tried to come to terms with her loss. They surrounded her with compassion, helping her as she left in tears to pay respects to her sweet mother. Antonia Gorga.
It would say, Il nostro amore.
Antonia Gorga was the beloved mother of New Jersey stars Teresa Giudice and Joe Gorga. The siblings have a roller coaster of a relationship, but they both agree on one thing. Their love for their parents is unwavering. In the premiere episode of Season 8, Teresa is seen grieving over the loss of her mother. At 66 years old, Antonia died due to complications from pneumonia. The timing couldn't have been worse for Teresa, who had just been released from jail, while her husband Joe was currently serving his sentence. The loss of her mother was an incredibly heavy blow for Teresa, compounded by the tumultuous circumstances surrounding her family. This woman highlighted the deep bond between Teresa and her mother, as well as the immense pain of losing a parent. Bobby Zarin.
He's getting the best of care at MD Anderson, where we'll be next week. He's getting the best.
Jill Zarin was a former cast member on the Real Housewives of New York. She was super close to the girls before she left after season 4. During her time on the Bravo reality show, her husband Bobby's ongoing struggle with cancer was an upsetting storyline for the family. And sadly, he lost his battle in 2018 after her time on the show. Jill may have had her ups and downs with the girls on the show, but Bobby was always a shining light and a great provider and father to their daughter. His loss fell heavy on RHONY fans who remembered him as a supportive and loving husband. Mark Vanderpump.
Yeah, well, so I'm coming at this from a hospital specialist perspective, so normally my conferences are very now...
Lisa and Ken are both open books, but also very private. They have shown their lives on RHOBH along with Vanderpump Rules, yet not much is known about their family back in the UK. In April of 2018, the world found out that Lisa's brother Mark died of suicide. Real Housewives viewers saw the toll it took on Lisa as she got very emotional throughout the season, which wasn't really like her. To this day, Lisa claims Mark's suicide attempt was a cry for help that went horribly wrong. The loss of her brother was a significant and heartbreaking moment for Lisa, and it deeply affected her on and off the screen. Jeff.
Series, Gretchen Rossi's then fiancé, Jeff Batesel, was fighting a battle with cancer, and as
Gretchen Rossi's ex. When Gretchen Rossi first joined the cast of RHOC, she was engaged to a man who was 24 years older than her. His name was Jeff, and he already had his life sorted out. He was a very successful businessman who had adult children and a beautiful younger woman on his arm. However, when Jeff became ill from cancer, Gretchen fell apart. Although her castmates believed Gretchen was only with an ill older man for money, Gretchen claims it was for love. Jeff eventually lost his battle to cancer, which was hard for those who knew him. His passing was a poignant moment on the show, highlighting the real-life struggles and losses that the housewives endure. Monty Brinson.
I don't think,
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum. Kit Richards was married to Monty Brinson for 3 years in the 80s before divorcing. But unlike many divorced couples, Kiv and Monty remained best friends and co-parents to their daughter, Brooke. Monty made a few appearances on the show, and it was obvious the two had a very close and respectful bond. Sadly, Monty got sick with cancer and passed away in 2016. Knowing Kim's history with substance abuse, her sisters and friends were concerned for her well-being after his passing. Monty's death was a significant blow to Kim and highlighted the deep bond they shared despite their divorce. AJ.
he was stressed out about the club that...
Kandi Burruss's ex. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kandi Burruss was once engaged to a man named AJ. His name and their relationship were brought up on the show, mainly because Kandi's mom didn't approve of him. The two ended up calling it quits shortly after. Sadly, in 2009, Kandi found out her ex-fiance was killed in a fight in a strip club parking lot and was stunned by the news. During that year's reunion episode, Kandi couldn't help but bawl over the great loss in her life. AJ's tragic death was a heartbreaking moment for Kandi, showing her vulnerability and the deep impact he had on her life. Daddy-O.
You guys give each other a kiss? Come on.
Lisa and Ken Vanderpump's dog, Giggy, may be a star in his own right, but the death of Giggy's dad, Daddy-O, was just as emotional. The Vanderpumps adore their animals and have created Vanderpump dogs to show their admiration for their four-legged friends. In 2015, Lisa broke the news that their beloved Daddy-O passed away while they were traveling, and it was devastating for the couple. For fellow pet fans who cheered on the Vanderpumps, simply because of their dedication to animals, this was a sad death. Daddy-O's passing highlighted the deep love and connection Lisa and Ken had with their pets, making it a touching moment for viewers. From the tragic end of Russell Armstrong to the heartbreaking loss of Daddy-O, these moments remind us that behind the glitz and glamour of the Real Housewives lies real-life pain and sorrow. Which of these sad moments had you reaching for your tissue box? We think we have them all covered, but there might be some we are missing. Let us know, and let us know how these moments made you feel. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for more Real Housewives content headed your way soon.